What's good, y'all? What's good, family? Once again, this is Nate Squalls, Tierra, over here, the soon-to-be Mrs. Squall. We back again with another good little video for y'all. But before we can get this video popped, we gotta hit off our theme music. T, hit me with our theme music one time.
It's the Squall family. It's the Squall family.
It's the Squall family. It's the Squall family. It's the Squall family. It's the Squall family. Yeah. Back again. So today we came here to give y'all a good little story about how our love story was during February and during the month of March. So we go flow. Y'all just join in with us, man. Hope y'all be blessed. But T, any words?
I think just this whole process of us being together is very critical, right? And I think the one question that I always get is, did Nate ask you to be his girlfriend? And so I want to let you answer that. And then I want to know why you felt, actually, I'll let you answer that. Go.
Did I ask you to be my girlfriend? Well, you know, I'm a top dog. I had to ask nothing. It just happened off of, because it's just me. But a little jokey joke, man. Definitely, man. To be honest, I believe I gave her a call one day and I was like, something was telling my spirit that she was the one for me. I was like, man, I don't know if I really like this person like this. I mean, maybe I may be moving too quick. You know, you get those jitters, like, man. But I just had to believe the story. You know, when you know, you know. So I gave her a call. We had a quick little conversation. We'll get deep into that conversation one of these days. Trust me, we got something coming for you in the future. But back to the story. I got on a call, talked to her for a little while, and just basically told her how I felt about her. And before I got off the phone, I said, you know, T, can you be my girlfriend? Now, she got another story about this. Cause
that is not even what happened. No. First of all, you didn't even ask me over the phone. You asked me in person. Anyway, I have a follow-up question to that, but what the actual story
Speak about how I asked you in person.
But I thought I asked you on the phone. Which one is it?
Just speak about it.
Okay, so during the month of January, I hope you all know that we just had a very expedited process. Like, first date we went on in January, things were okay, cool. We're like, do I like him? Do I like her? Second date was more like, whoa, this may be something. Third date, he told me he loved me, and I met his parents. And so all these things are happening, and I'm like, okay, so, like, what's up? Now, I'll be honest, a lot of people have been getting in my ear, and I've been watching all these YouTube videos, and I think a lot of women can get caught up in just, like, other people's stories. And so a lot of people were like, you know, you don't even need a man to ask you to be his girlfriend because he just needs to ask you to be his wife. Now, that's cool, and that works for some people, but I know for me, I needed that security of the title of actual, like, girlfriend, boyfriend, because I know what follows that is engagement, marriage, and all those things. So I just wanted to know that we were on the same page. So we had a phone call conversation, and I'm asking questions like, okay, so where is this headed? We're doing a lot of things. We're just doing a lot of things. We're moving quickly. Like, what is your goals? And he had said something, I forgot what you said, but you were just like, you know, don't worry, like, things are all good. Fast forward, I think the following week, we're on some rooftop, and we're talking, and it's intimate, and it's cute, like, it's nice outside. It was like, honestly, it was like a typical Lifetime movie, babe. Typical Lifetime movie, and he had asked me if I loved him. And I was like, you know, I do love you. And then you said, I think this is a good time to ask you to be my girlfriend. And I was like, well, about time. You know, those past 5 weeks, it was about time. So that was February 9th. You asked me to be your girlfriend. I was like, finally. But I wasn't really happy.
So it was on top of a roof. It was actually at this little spot out DC. It's called CL. Nice little rooftop bar. I should definitely check it out. But I'm a speak easy guy. So, you know, I just want to be in a nice little scenery. I love a good view. Coming from New Orleans, I love a good view. So this actual bar, you can kind of see DC from the left side and the right side, really on the northeast side. So it was very nice, and I just set up there and went straight to it. like you said, I remember I was talking to, and I was just in the mood. You know, sometimes, to be honest, sometimes you can't wait on things. I know one thing she was saying, like, you know, other people was looking at this and saying, people, as soon as you find somebody, you know, it may be too quick and whatnot, but to me, man, it was just, like I said, it was just right on time. Sometimes you just gotta let God move and let things be right on time. You don't never really rush anything, but ain't nothing rushed when God doing it. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta move when God moves. So I knew God had something better for the future, because remember, as a man, God gives you the vision. So I already seen in the future that she was going to be a part of my future. So I had to start the process. And that's when I decided to start the process. That was on February 9th. As y'all can see right here, we got 2 and 9.
No,
You know what I'm saying? To represent February 9th. That was the day it all started. You don't need to know the day we getting married. Don't worry about that. That's only for the certain few people. But that was cool. That was cool. So one question I have, since you want to talk about.
All right. Ask me the questions then.
I said I love you first, you know, as you
know
how they be. You know how they be. I mean, I really don't. So when did you say you love me?
On the rooftop.
The same day I said I love you?
No, you asked me. That was 2 different days. That was the third date. First of all, women, we know dates. Yeah, I know we don't miss a deadline. Okay, we know, like,
women
okay.
Exaggerate also.
We know, okay, you was wearing this at this time, at this second, you flipped your eyes and you looked at this. This is what happened. The third day we went to BLT Steak. Honestly, at this point, we need to get some sponsorships, all these places that we be going. But we went to BLT Steak and we're just all like cuddled up. We honestly, at that time, and honestly still now, we just be acting like we don't have any care in the world. We just be all lovey-dovey. And we was like this. And Nate was just, talking his talk. You the best woman in the world. And
I was talking that talk to keep on that shoulder. You see, she said she was on that shoulder, right? You see that?
You just the woman in the world, T. Like, I never met a woman like you. Yeah, I love you. And he said it like slick. And I was like, this fool just told me he loved me. And it's the third date. And it's crazy because I really wanted to say it back, but I was like, nah, like, he gotta work for this. I love you, okay? He has to work for it. And so the day,
y'all, I'm telling y'all right now, you hear me? I'm gonna let her run. I'm gonna let her run.
Please. And so February 9th, that's when you had asked me, did you love me? Or did I love you? And I was like, you know what? I do love you. And this again is after like my period of things are moving too fast. It's too good to be true. I'm talking to my pastors and I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, I know I just sit and prayed and fasted for a man. I prayed and fasted for all these things, but like when it came, I was like, this is happening too quickly. I'm not ready. I started like trying, almost self-sabotaging. But then I just started to bask in it. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna allow you to be my boyfriend because
she didn't really allow me to. She decided to that it'd be best for us. So, you know what I'm saying? We ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes back to finishing the story though, it goes back to the rest of the February after we get that, after February 9th, we started to hook up. It went down to Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was definitely a nice day for myself. I just want to give her a good time, show her how much I care about her. So I made sure I flew out here to DC.
Where were you at the time?
At the time I was in Atlanta, and I made sure I flew back out here to DC and went out for just a nice date out the town. Made sure she looked nice. Went to a nice little dinner date, which was very beautiful. Had some good food. Where we went?
We went to a speakeasy.
No, we went for dinner.
Oh, your favorite restaurant, Cafe Milano.
We went to Cafe Milano. I love Italian food, and I love authentic Italian food. I don't do all that fake stuff.
Now, why?
I used to live in Italy for 4 years. I lived in Sicily, so once I lived there, I fell in love with pasta. I fell in love with wine. I fell in love with just like the authentic food that comes with being in Italy. I was in Sicily, so I was in not North Italy, I was in Southern Italy, so it was more Italians where I was at. So I really love to come from course meals, and I love sparkling water because of that also. So once again, if you guys can just want to check out another great restaurant, Cafe Milano, it's in Georgetown. It gives you a real good European feel. But back to the story. So we went there first, took on a nice date, left there, and we went to see Gregory Potter. This guy does great stand-up, singing, live music. So he has a jazz band with him, and this is my first time. She didn't even know it was my first time ever even hearing about this dude. I'm like, man, I love jazz. You know, being from the city, I love jazz. And so, you know, we went to this date, went to the theater, and just listening to some good jazz music. It was nice and slow. It was good. It was right on time. It wasn't too much. We wasn't all that touchy feeling. And we just enjoying the day. And that's just what I want. I just want us to enjoy the day. And I think we finished the night off with a nice little speakeasy. But that was like that very next week. So, you know, it was boom. What you think? How was Valentine's Day for you?
So, I think there was just a lot of things that were happening. Like, I ain't gonna lie, Nathaniel was applying he was applying pressure.
That's what the real ones do.
As you should. And so all these women who just allowing these men to give you the bare minimum, toodles to them. Nathaniel was applying pressure. One thing I always told him, or one thing I realized about Valentine's Day, is that Nathaniel listens. And I would, in passing, just let him know, like, oh yeah, I really love jazz music. I really like live music. I love poetry. And that night we actually went to a poetry slam too. I don't know if you remember that, but we went to a poetry slam.
We did, I forgot.
Yep, we went to a poetry slam.
Gotta listen, guys, gotta listen.
Yeah, and just the whole day was romantic. He came out from Atlanta because the end of January, he moved from DC back to Atlanta because God had told him to, which I was like, God, that don't make no sense because you just said, this is my man, and how you gonna take him away from me just when things started to get good? But he came back just to ask me to be his girlfriend and just to take me out for Valentine's Day. And so I was like, okay, now this man is very intentional and very serious. And so I just started thinking a lot. And I was just very grateful. I think that time, just having something that was new, something that just was easy, I think that's something that people miss out on. Like, yes, there's going to be ups and downs when it comes to relationships. Absolutely, you know, we're human. But when it's God, it will be easy. And I think that can often be a confirmation that someone is your God ordained spouse, with how much peace there truly is in it. And even one thing during that time, and after Valentine's Day, I'll just keep it with the story. After Valentine's Day, Nate went back to Atlanta. And I'll be honest, like, I thought things were going to work. Things were not going to work. I always said I would never do long distance. I would never date anybody who wasn't in, you know, close proximity to me, because your girl is needy. I want to be able to just pinch your cheeks if I want to, or have you take me out to dinner when I'm hungry. And so I was like, God, this don't make no sense. But honestly, us being long distance was probably the best thing for us, because we were a lot more intentional with our conversations. We became a lot more intentional with how we chose to communicate, how we chose to spend our time. We had virtual dates. Nate would give me Uber Eats, and I would we really didn't miss a beat. And it just made it a lot more fun. And then even in those times where he would come back to DC just to see me, or I would maybe go to Atlanta to meet his family, it just made things more exciting and more, I anticipated more. And so I guess my question for you, babe, what was going through your head? Because I don't know if you all have watched the story. Nate had recently got out of a relationship in October. We started dating in January, made it official in February. And so what was going through your mind? Like, did you have any doubts at all during that time? Like, were you questioning anything during like the February and March time frame after we had just gotten together?
No, I wasn't questioning a lot. I actually got a relationship, I want to say that August, but I wasn't questioning a lot. I was already free from my last situation. And you gotta also understand, you gotta be free, you gotta release yourself. Because if you don't release yourself, the next person will be a rebound. And so, in releasing yourself, that really goes to spending time with God, and God leads you to what's next. And when God leads you, it's easy to break something off, because God will make it so easy, like, this is not just it. Now, I got a heart for people, so sometimes you have to break a person's heart. Sometimes you just got to be truthful. But they say the truth hurts, but the truth will also set you free. So in that season, I had to be truthful. I had to be straight up and not worry about another person's emotions. Because if you worry about somebody's emotions, when God say move, you can miss your train. If you miss your train,
that's good, baby.
God not gonna be able to do what he needs to do in your life. So I didn't want to miss my train, because God already told me he got something for me. But going back to the end of February, I said we just finished out February because there's so much content we can't even give you really much. But February, after that, we went on a 14-day fast, and we'll keep it to the fast factor. We'll make sure we will keep it to the fast factor so we can get out of February. And we went on a 14-day fast. It was very, very beautiful. And this 14-day fast, because I came from a relationship, she came from a relationship. It really was. We didn't want to waste each other's time. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to waste each other's time, and we want to get straight to it, you know. So I'm like, all right, cool. What can we do? What can we do? I'm like, you know what? I'm really at Atlanta. Before this, Atlanta was a time for me to really draw back near to God. Mm-hmm. So close to God that I can hear His breath. So close to God that I can feel Him when I sleep. So close to God that it was peace. And when you're in that season, God can speak. Mm-hmm. So God moved me to Atlanta was to remove confusion away. And sometimes confusion is not from other people. Most of the time, confusion is what you bring to your own life.
That's good.
And the only thing you gotta do is say, God, take the burden off. And God to take the burden off. So in that season, I had to ask the God to take the burden off. We went on a 14-day fast. And actually, the 14-day fast, and what we did, we got a couple of good things coming for y'all in the future. We'll leave it. But this 14-day fast will be published. When people will be able to see this 14-day fast. And the fast was really just a fast for our engagement. I said, God, this is supposed to be for me. And if she said, God, this is supposed to be for me, we're going to go on this fast. And we went on this fast. And mind you now, February 14th, still in February, we on this fast. We said we'll go. I was going to this thing called Argument, Kingdom for Tabernacle International Ministries. Now, hey, it's a men's conference. I'm normally a guy like, man, I don't want to go to a men's conference. Like, I don't want to be around guys I don't know. But I said, God, I'm supposed to be at that conference. You make it easy, one. And I said, God, she's supposed to be my wife. Or she's supposed to be my wife. I didn't say, God, it's supposed to be my girlfriend. It's supposed to be my wife. You make me know. That was my prayer. What was your prayer for that 14-day fast?
For that 14-day fast, well, first of all, I already knew you wasn't my man.
Hey.
Because watch the videos, but I talked about how God told me in a dream that you specifically were my husband. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't about to let you know that because why would I do that? That's crazy.
And that will come off another time. She's not even gonna go that deep into that right now. That's a whole nother time.
That was just crazy. But during that 14-day fast, I'll be honest, I wanted to make sure that we were on God's time. And I wanted to make sure that we didn't make one another an idol. I think that was for me. And I even think, if I'm honest, that's probably one of the reasons why God took you out of DC at that time and brought you back to Atlanta, because things were so accelerated, like so much so where we were just like so drunk in love, like
we didn't really have time to think. We didn't really have time to put in our mindset, like, you know, when you got a person in front of you, really loving a person, it's like you're being in that puppy love stage for so long. So, like she was saying, that was definitely a time for us to remove from that puppy love stage, even for myself, to refocus on God. Because remember, it's all about God.
Yeah.
It's not about woman. It's not about man, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad. It's about God. And sometimes God can remove you from a situation so you can put the picture and the focus back on Him. Because He can't reveal. Remember, as the man, He reveals a vision to you. As a woman, you're the helper. So He may give you a vision too, but He gives that man the vision that he must lead his family in. And God can't really give you the vision if you're so drunk in love. So He got to remove you. So don't be scared when it's quick, but make sure you give God His time. More time than you give your woman. So if you go give your woman 5 hours on the phone, you should give also God more time than that. You should give God way more time. You remember, you only got 24 hours in a day. So you got to work 8 and give 5 hours to one person. No, you make sure you give your time back to God. Yeah. That's the main focus.
Yeah, and I even think for me during that time, I just had a lot of questions for God. Because think about it. We just started dating. Things are going well, but you just moved to Atlanta. I know He doesn't, but I knew that this was my husband. So I'm like, God, this was not a part of my plan. Like, my plan was for us to really build a relationship, a foundation in the same proximity. I wanted him to join my church. I wanted him to, like, I just had all these things in mind. So I had a lot of questions for God during that time. And, you know, by the grace of God, a lot of things were confirmed because a lot of clarity came from the fact that sometimes you really just need to trust the process. You need to trust God so much where it's like, even when you don't know what's next, you got to trust that I know the end from the beginning and I already have everything under control. And so you said Ark of Men. Ark of Men, like you said, is a men's conference. You went to Ark of Men, and what happened?
We went to Ark of Men, but to finish up on the fast, before I went to Ark of Men, I got the word from God in the fast that she was supposed to be my wife. I said, God, if she's not supposed to be my wife, remove her. That was my prayer. It wasn't if she's supposed to be my wife, make it worse. If she's supposed to be my girlfriend, just let me know. No. If she's not supposed to be my wife, remove her. Bring contention.
That's a good prayer.
Bring contention. Bring confusion. Because remember, God is peace. So it was so weird, even during the fast, we actually had some type of going back and forth. Mm-hmm. But then at the end, God still prevailed and was like, it was still at peace. And I'm like, okay, we made it through. Maybe there's somebody can work with. And that's what I found out through that fast. So now I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me go see what this Ark of Men got. I remember I talked to this powerful man, Minister Dominic, and he was like, Brother Nate, you should go. You should go. And I'm gonna end my February, and this is my last take of February. But February in the Ark of Men, I go to this. I'm like, she know me. I'm from the city. I'm from New Orleans. I'm from the cut. So it's kind of more like,
he's a dude's dude. So he's like, I ain't about to be around all these dudes. That's crazy.
Yeah, all these dudes I don't know. And then some dudes, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm a believer of God. I'm not how can I say? Some people be in the church and some people just be, they can't be themselves,
Like
they
too
can't,
spiritual.
Yeah, they be too spiritual. But that's not me. I'm straight up. I'm real with it. But I am still spiritual. Understand that. You know what I'm saying? One of God's disciples. Understand I'm one of God's children. So I do follow the ways and I do read and understand the laws that He has laid and abide by them to the best of my ability. But just to add on that point, it was just more like, I'm like, you know what? I don't know, because people be doing too much sometimes. People may not take me in a certain way, whatever. I was still coming from the world at this point, going to the point I am now. And I'm going to give y'all that journey another time. But I definitely was, January was leaving the world. February was more like, especially after that fast, she don't even know how that much really helped me get back into church. Helped me get back closer to God. Because I had to really draw near to God to get an answer from God. I couldn't put no one else around me. I even told my mother about this fast, and my mother was like, she gave me my space at that time. So going to Ark of Men, I met Mr. Diamond, like, you should come. And it was a great men's conference. I learned a lot. I met some great people, man. I seen men be together, pray together, love each other, talk about God, and that's what we need more of. Definitely need more of that. And I met some guys who were like myself, who didn't come from a fabricated world, but came from the real world and wasn't ashamed of what they're doing now in life. You know what I'm saying? And understand, you can come from this world and come to this world. No Christian or no disciple should look at you down, because I was that person that was in your shoes. But going back to it, February ended for me with Minister Dom telling me to my face, eye to eye, that's your wife. I seen him that Thursday. We went there that Thursday, and we had a little session that Thursday for Ark of Men. And I didn't know nobody but him and his armor bearer and like 1 or 2 guys from the church. And I went up to him, hey, Mr. Dom, hey, Brother Nate, you married? Blase. Like, yes, sir. And he said, how you doing? I said, I'm doing good. I had a small talk, and he shook my hand. He was like, that's your wife, so remain pure. And that's how my February ended, with the advice to remain pure, and the advice that was my wife. And stay tuned. I'm gonna pass back to you, but stay tuned for March and April, because I'll show you that was my first confirmation. That she was my wife. God gave me 3.
We already know God gave me 5,000 million confirmations, and I was like, Lord, but I need 1,000
She
million.
need 5 million thousand.
2. Okay,
She need 5
give
million
me all the confirmations, because I just
it.
need to know without a shadow of a doubt that this man is indeed mine. But one thing you didn't talk about, and I just remembered it, was you came to my church. And you came to my church for something that was called Love Day, and I am a part of the dance.
Oh, you talking about when I was in church for 12 hours? Quick story, just quick. I'm gonna get this quick because we got so much content for y'all that we don't want to prolong y'all. But quick. Picture going to a church.
No, where are you at? Like you never went to like a long church before.
Right. I come from, first of all, I was in Greater St. Stephen's Changing Generation Ministry with Bishop Paul S. Morton, Mr. Let It Rain himself, the most powerful man himself, you know what I'm saying? So I was in that church, beautiful church. That's where I grew up. That's where I got my foundation at. So that's why I learned God even from a childhood. My grandmother, my great grandmother, the whole family was in there. So at the end of the day, it comes to a point. Now I go to this. I remember her mom told me. Her mom was like, "Nah, listen, you go to this church, you will be there for a minute." And I'm like, "I'll be alright," you know. And then
why was it important for you to go to the church?
I didn't find that until after I went to the church, so I can't even answer that right now.
No, I'm saying was it important for you to just go to my church? Period.
It was no importance for me to go to church. I was just trying to be one. Like I said, one thing they do at their church is they fast on Sundays, and she's a worker. So as a man, if that's your woman, that's the party you want to be with. You got to support them regardless. So going to her church was for me to support her, was to show her, you know what, hey, I want to know where you get your word from, to see if it can feed me. And so going to her church, I say real straight up, it was a blessing. At first I was like, man, it's long, but by the time I left, it was a blessing.
How long was it?
I don't even speak about that. It was just, it wasn't long, it was powerful.
That's good, baby.
It was powerful. And so just going to the church, it was very powerful. And the minister, once again, Minister Don, came with a great message, and it changed me right there. And then I seen couples praying together. I seen couples holding hands and speaking in tongues. One of my grooms, my boy Rich, was up in there with his wife, one of her bridesmaids, and they was praying. I'm like, look at these people. They praying, they shaking hands, and I'm like, and she was telling me, like, look, you can't touch me, you can't hold my hand, you can't do nothing. I'm like, gee, you don't even like me. You know what I'm saying? But it was just, so that was that one part. I stayed in church. She danced that day, so I wanted to support her. And like I said, I left that first part of church happy, like, wow, this is very powerful. Not knowing that there was a whole other program an hour later, which is cool. It's cool. But the program was powerful. Again, it was Love Day. And just to hear Christian couples talk about love, just to hear Christian couples pray for each other, it really changed my mindset about the church. And she don't even know. That's the decision that day I said I was going to go to Arkham. I came to the church, said, I'm not going to this. I left the church that same day, said, I got to be at this. So that's how that was for me. And that's when I started going to KFT. And it's been great the whole time I've been there. I've grown closer to God and a deeper connection with God more than ever in my life. And my walk is definitely different. So I appreciate the church. I appreciate even for her bringing me to that church. And I appreciate for her even not forcing me to become part of the church. She allowed me to do my walk. But once again, that's for March, April. We just on February, so I'm done.
Now, you said something very important, and I know that this is something that a lot of, honestly, not even just women, but men and women can really struggle with. They'll try to maybe force their church or force their views or force their things on just someone. And I was very adamant. I said, God, I'm not going to do no type of work. I'm not pushing this man to go to my church. I'm not pushing this man to do this, Lord. This is between me and you. So if this is the man that you said is for me, that you said is going to lead me, and you call me to this church, you have to make him join the church. And again, these are all of my personal one-on-one conversations with God. The next week after I prayed that prayer, Nate comes to my church, and he's like, dang, T.I., I really like your church. And this is something that is, different from your typical Baptist church. It's just super powerful. Like he was saying, it's something we've been able, like, ever since I've gone to this church, I've been able to grow a lot more deeper spiritually. I've been a lot more in tune with God, and I've just grown in my walk. And so that was really important to me. So when you have your dude, when you have your woman, and you're like, he needs to be like this, he needs to think this way, he needs to do this, bring it before God. Like, if God said that this is your husband, if God said that this is your woman, he needs to be the one to change it or impact that situation. And that's what I would say was the best piece of advice that I gotten when I just began this process with Nate. One of my girlfriends told me, she said, make sure you make the Holy Spirit your best friend throughout this entire journey. Courtship, engagement, marriage. Make the Holy Spirit your absolute best friend, because there are things that the Holy Spirit will be able to convey to Nate. There'll be things that the Holy Spirit will be able to change. There are things that truly can only be done by my spirit, that your words, your works, won't be able to do. And so I really held on to that word, and I just grew in intimacy with the Holy Spirit. And I grew, like I said, anytime I had an issue with anything, it could be the way that he talked to me. No, Lord, he may have raised his voice one time. I don't like that. I remember I said something like that, and he came 2 minutes later and apologized. So that's something I wanted to say. But honestly, February, March, all those things, like you said, we'll talk a little bit about it more later. But that was just such a pivotal time for us, because that's when we both were like, okay, now we know that we have something serious. We know that we have something God ordained. So let's make it work.
And this is the end, y'all. We appreciate y'all for riding with us. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow our IG pages. The I am is Jackson, Nate.ggxci. Also, make sure y'all follow the Squall family on Instagram, on TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's more content coming. It's more information coming. And just let us know what y'all want, because we here to give y'all what y'all want. We here to give y'all the real. We here to give y'all the authentic. And we just here to give y'all what God is telling us, because God speaks to us, definitely. We appreciate y'all for listening. Appreciate y'all once again. And the Squall family out. Boom.